These guys made a
Greetings,
toilet
sentient
flush.
beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There may be strong language and adult themes. And tonight we have with us the Lavender Lady.
Yay!
Hi,
And
Dad.
our own Jenny Morgan, who is giving
Hi,
us more
kid.
scenery around her town. So, Jenny, why don't you go for the audience and explain where you are for us?
Well, we are in the woods. We're, I don't know exactly how distance, probably about 200, maybe 300 yards up one of the bluff hills, in a heavily wooded area, where in the last few weeks, a couple of cougars and a pair of bears have been sighted and seem to have taken up residence because they continually get sighted. And so I thought maybe if we come up here, there'd just be a very slim chance that we'd see one walk past, and have a real treat. You never know. It's not likely, but it could happen.
Now, you were saying multiple cougars. They're usually solitary. So if they're multiples, it's probably a mother with her young, isn't it?
It may well be. I haven't heard any of the specific detailed descriptions. I would think that somebody'd say, well, there were two, one was bigger, one was smaller, or something like that. But I haven't heard any scuttlebutt like that. It's, I have no doubt of the veracity of the people who are reporting it, but their ability to recall detail and be a good reporter may be a little bit in question. But cougars have been around here for a long time, and it's not a rare thing.
We definitely have them all over in Minnesota, and it's certainly the right kind of habitat there for them.
Yeah. And
I have not seen any out here. I've seen a lot of other stuff, but I haven't seen cougars. We have deer like crazy around here.
Oh,
yes,
yeah. Deer are just horny rats.
Cougars are actually one of the threats to livestock around here.
Ooh.
This all started when somebody's pit
Hi,
bull.
Jenny. Oh, I see Will is in the side chat.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Jenny, you kind of got cut off there when the other Jenny came in.
Not a problem.
Okay, well, you kind of got talked over, so I didn't know what you were saying there.
Nothing important. I hardly ever say anything important.
She was only going to tell us all that she's radioactive.
No, that's Greg.
Oh, okay.
Greg was bitten by a radioactive stapler, I believe, and is now able to open envelopes with his finger.
Oh my.
It's an amazing.
Every time I open an envelope with my fingers, I get an invoice.
Well, you put your finger in my envelope and we're going to have a discussion.
The dialysis center is telling me they want $1,000. Yay.
Well, none of my powers are actually from mutations. It's just from evolving on a different planet for 66 million years.
Okay, then. It works.
What's your favorite rock to eat?
Did you say favorite rock?
Yeah.
No, I don't eat rocks.
Oh,
I don't have any teeth left as it is.
Do you don't eat rock candy?
No, unfortunately, I have no teeth left. I can't eat anything hard. I miss nuts. I miss cashews and pistachios.
Oh, tell me about it. Yeah.
Soft.
I was thinking of getting my teeth replaced with metal dental implants.
Why?
I don't take very good care of my teeth and I throw up a lot.
Oh, Okay.
So it's kind of like if I get it done now, I won't have to get it done later.
It costs $1,000 to $2,000 per tooth.
Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna it's gonna be like a process. It's gonna be part of my transition. Cause I'm not just gonna transition into a girl, but I want a lot of body mods. I don't even want to look human, to be honest.
Alrighty.
So you want to go the transhuman route, something like Slim Living Cyborg is doing?
Hey, Will.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey, Will.
Hi.
Welcome to the trans girl stream.
Yeah.
And joining us in the side chat now, we have Harmonica Man and Greg Hartwick.
It's not my first time, Jenny. Not my first time.
Yo, speaking of trans streams, I'm thinking of doing a trans stream where I'm gonna have people teach me better arguments because I'm finding it hard to exist on Twitter without having to justify my existence.
Oh, welcome to my world. As a person of color who doesn't fit any stereotype and does everything I'm not supposed to do, it seems like every circle I go into, they're like, oh, but you do that? I said that I surf in a live chat, and someone was like, oh, really? They were shocked that a person of color could stand on a surfboard.
What?
That is amazing.
But where I live, it's mainly people of color on surfboard.
Yeah.
Yo, back when I surfed in California, I saw people of all different types.
But it was someone who's not from around here. I can tell when someone's not from, they'll I'll say something and they're like, oh, but people don't do that. And it's like, oh, you're not from around where I live.
But have you seen a cat on a surfboard?
YouTube it, I guarantee you it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen video from it.
I've seen a dog on a surfboard.
But yeah, Jenny, I know what you mean that unfortunately Twitter just seems just ripe with TERFs.
Yeah.
And anyone who says they're trans who doesn't look feminine enough by their standards gets raked over.
I've been counterattacking the gender critical people who have been attacking Student Doc Ben. It's one of the people I'm gonna have on my stream actually.
Yep.
Because I don't have good arguments. I just know what I feel personally, and I also know I'm not a sex offender, which is what everyone claims I am.
See, what the problem is, you gotta I could tell you half of the arguments. They always they go after gametes, intersex people. They'll say intersex people don't exist because there's hardcore science behind it. There's also right now the big argument is about phalloplasties because what trans men get phalloplasty.
Okay. And no, my ears weren't working. Okay.
I try to keep up on the other side because they're gaining traction more than we think they are. At least, especially here in America.
Yeah. TERFs just be co-oping. I'm sorry, I don't want to make this stream about this. It's Mutation Day. Let's have fun. I'm gonna hard left this conversation.
Well, we've mutated into.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's really what I do this for. It's just for anybody to talk about whatever.
And
but I could get really heated because I could get really heated because I've been seeing nothing but ad hominem attacks for the past 3 or 4 days on my timeline, and I'm just so sick of it.
We got to get serious before I light up this joint because in about 20 minutes I'm gonna have to put my space helmet on. My whole point, TERFs have gained a lot of traction lately, and you said, Student Dr. Ben.
Yeah.
Is that his name? I saw that just the other day. I was like, holy cow. my whole point is they're like a pack of wolves now.
Yeah.
One will show up and then and then all of a sudden you have 15 of them on you. That's why it's not fun.
No, and it reminds me a lot of.
Will, have you seen that video that I recently posted in the chat on Twitter?
No, I've been taking breaks from Twitter and just certain genres in general, and my life has improved. But I saw Randolph's link, and I will be clicking on it.
Yeah, it's an extremely well done vid by somebody who really knows his shit because he's a genuine scientist.
Well, while we're on the subject, I just saw yesterday a reference to a book. It's called Trans: When Ideology Meets Reality by somebody by the name of Helen Joyce out in the UK.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I should say again.
I can't remember if Helen Joyce is a TERF or not, but so there's organizations called WOLF, which is Women's Liberation Front. They're TERFs. There's another, I can't remember the name now. So if it comes out of the UK, be very careful because that is TERF Island. But like I say, I read. Sorry.
What I'm wondering is, should I spend the $20 buy the book to review it?
I'll mail you some paper and I'll help you steal it for free. and I'll mail you some ink too for your printer.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I can get a hardcover for $20. I can get a paperback for $19. The Kindle is $13, but I don't have a Kindle.
You know, I promote reading the other side because I read Bill O'Reilly's of Pinheads and Patriots, and then it dawned on me how psychotic that whole side was.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just have to say that this channel does not endorse stealing copyrighted works.
But if you're bored, Godless Sewing will show you how.
There you go. I don't know. I have to think about it because if I have to do it, I've got to act fast before my credit card expires. I'm waiting for the new credit card, and they're still dragging their feet sending it to me. It expires tomorrow. Eesh.
Oh, damn. Thanks for reminding me.
Jenny,
yeah.
I just realized I wasn't following you.
Oh,
on
I
Twitter.
got a new one in the mail, but I never got around to activating the debit card from my bank, and it expires today.
Oops. Here you go. Let's get on.
Hans P. Hansen says, I have, in a way, the reverse problem as Godless Sewing. I'm from Norway, and I completely am useless on skis. It's one of the closest things I have to death. It's one of those things, like, I reflected the people I was around. My friends went and bought skateboards, so I did. When I was a kid, I started surfing young. That's the only reason that I have any skill at it at all. Like skateboarding, I get on a skateboard and people are like, "Oh, you're so good," but like I just had tons of practice. I don't think there's anything like I don't think there's nothing that you can't do. It's just the amount of practice you're willing to put in for it.
Well, but that's what makes it good. You practice, you get good. You could say you're good.
Just like this sewing machine.
I wish
There's
there were
something I can't do. I can't shit diamonds. I mean, geez, man.
Well, if you think about it hard enough, maybe in a million years.
I wish there were waves in Florida. Like the West Coast is where all the good waves are. Florida has like you can boogie board during a hurricane, but that's about it.
Where I live, it's good for people who are like beginners. If you go more north, those are like, well, actually, yeah, because Santa Cruz is north because they hold surfing competitions like up north and in San Diego because the waves are just a little bit bigger. In San Francisco, one time, there was some amazing human being from Australia who saved my life. I was on that board, which I'm pointing to like you can see it. I had never seen 30-foot waves from the front. So a wave, if it's 30 feet in the front, that means there's a 60-foot drop in the back. In California, we'll get 10-foot waves with a 20, so I had never seen a drop like that. And I almost drowned when the second wave hit me. And I was swimming towards the bottom of the ocean. And some Australian guy who was a fish, he saw my surfboard pop up and he grabbed my foot and was like literally pointed up. and he saved my life because I would have drowned.
You were tied to your surfboard?
Well, it came off because I got so smashed by the wave. It literally ripped the ripcord off of my board.
I see some of those surfing films of these guys going against this, as far as I'm concerned, looks like 100-foot tall wave, and it's like, how can you even think of doing that? You know, it's like, oh, let's go out here where all of nature is coming down on my head.
It's like it's so exhilarating when you get a good wave and you like have a good ride, you know, like. So I mean, I've ridden like 20 footers, like that's as big as I've gone waves. Like
it was one of the scariest things I ever did in my life. It taught me respect, kind of like alcohol. If you don't respect it, it will teach you respect. And it taught me respect.
I want to go somewhere where I could ride the tube of a wave.
Mexico's perfect for that. Hawaii, you know, all the inaccessible places.
Yeah.
Fiji, Bali. I used to really be into surfing, but then my son was born and my surfing career was over because I couldn't disappear at 4:00 in the morning anymore.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that movie, an old movie back in the 60s, I believe it was made? God, what was the title for sure?
Endless Summer?
Yes.
Of course I have. I have Endless Summer on VHS, and Endless Summer 2 is awesome as well. It's just
those who don't know out in the chat, these two guys go all over the fucking world looking for the quote unquote perfect wave. And it's just a very cool film to watch. A couple of guys surfing everywhere, and it's just kind of cool.
So Hans B. Henderson, like I stink at snowboarding. I'm dead to rights at surfing. I stopped snowboarding because I couldn't stop hurting myself. So it's one of those things. Like, and plus I thought because I could surf that I was cocky. I was talking trash the whole way up to the mountain. I fell so many times that like I feel like I broke my ankle twice. Snowboarding is hardcore.
Wait a minute. Isn't the aim of snowboarding to get a cast on your leg so you can just sit by the fireplace and try and, you know, get the cute girls with your stories?
I bypass all of that. I just go to the lodge and start telling stories.
I used to be a very good skier. Well, I'm glad to know that I can beat you at something.
Oh, well, see, I'm okay. I'm mediocre on skiing, but for some reason, it's because I'm a very proactive person and I'm cocky, and not everybody is good at everything, and I can accept that because I'm not willing to die to show off. But yeah, I stink at skiing and snowboarding.
In my peak days of skiing, when I was like, early 20s, late teens, early 20s, and you still think you're immortal. The whole idea of acrobatic skiing and trick skiing started in those days.
Oof.
The first people doing flips and stuff were starting in those days. Except we all had 6 to 6.5 foot long skis, and none of the sophistication. We would bury a few hay bales and build up some snow and pick the steepest part of the hill so that we got enough air to be able to do it. And I was able to do backflips. That was pretty advanced. It was neat, but it's unbelievable what it's become today. It's just holy fuck. These kids are unbelievable. It's good to see.
I literally, I still watch sports, and I scream at the television when they call 40 old. Or actually, you're old in sports when you're in your 30s. I'm that guy who's screaming, that guy's not old.
Well, look at Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's going to play till he's 50.
Well, Tom Brady's the exception to the rule. Like in certain sports, Tom Brady is quite literally the exception because he gets beat up. In hockey, you can be an old man. Jaromir Jagr basically played my entire life. In baseball, you can still have the chubby guy out in left field. It's not as like in the 90s, you had real people playing baseball. Like in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and the 90s, you had every kind of body shape. But now everybody's like really, freakishly in shape.
It's funny that you should mention Jaromir Jagr. He used to live down the street from me. I live in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was in a small borough called Homestead. And this was right at the beginning of his career when nobody knew who the hell he was. And he was renting a room from some lady, in Homestead because it was cheap. And there he was. It was okay.
So, Diana, I have a kind of a weird Pittsburgh question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's the name? There was a stadium where Mankind and The Undertaker did the first Hell in the Cell match. And The Undertaker literally mutilated Mankind on live television. It was in Pittsburgh somewhere. What's the name?
Would that have been at the Civic Arena?
I think so. But it's the old one. It's the old arenas. It was
right.
The first.
Yeah, it's been pulled down long ago.
That's what I thought. Because I recently. Hi, Doc.
Hey, Doc. How you doing, honey?
What's up, kids?
Hey, Doc. Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's
I had to step away for a minute. I got orange juice on my hands and had to wash it before I got it on my trackball.
It's all right. I didn't wait very long at all. Not even a minute. So
I started watching old. I'm so tired of the news. Twitter has been so depressing because of stuff like what Jenny's saying and the TERFs. I started popping in my old WWF VHS tapes, and I have whatever. It was like a SummerSlam or something, but it was Mankind versus The Undertaker, and I forgot how much he just beats the crud out of him. But Jim Ross is like, call the Allegheny hospital or blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's Pittsburgh. I'm like, my brain was like, that's Pittsburgh. Instantly, the second I heard that, I was like, that's Pittsburgh.
Yeah. My home for the last 33 years. It's amazing. I can't believe I've lived here over half my life.
I feel like that because I've moved back to my hometown, and like I keep on telling myself I need to move. Because
if I could not recommend a place to move to, I'd say Florida.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere near Florida, honey.
Yeah. I'm trying to get out of Florida.
Florida scares me.
I'm going to have Neil sign the adoption papers.
I lived in Arizona, and Arizona has like really aggressive stand your ground laws. People walk around with firearms. I never had a problem there. Not one time. Florida, for some reason, Florida just scares me. I don't know what it is. And I've been there.
Everyone here is entitled and batshit.
Hey, Minnesota's nice this time of year. Just hurry up. We could have a blizzard next week.
I hate winter. I hate snow. I hate blizzards.
Yeah, that's the only redeeming quality about Florida. It never snows.
Same here in California. But Jenny, let's be real.
What is redeeming about that?
In California, we have some of the fakest people on planet Earth. Like, I could say the same thing about LA,
Yeah, but there's something different about a drunk Florida woman than there is about like an entitled California woman.
True. I come from the land of Karens. Just bad haircuts and let me talk to the manager.
Hey, one of the best things about Minnesota is if you've got a tall wooden fence, nobody cares what you do in your own backyard.
I just bought that book.
Yeah, As long as their kids don't have to look at it, people really don't care what you're doing.
Oh my, sounds like a good place.
Will, did you mention you lived in Arizona?
She'll be all
Yeah.
over you.
Oh yeah, I lived in Arizona from 1999. I was back and forth, but I lived there for almost until 2001, 2002.
That reminded me of some news I heard about the Arizona abortion ban, that a judge blocked part of it, like hours after it went into effect. So,
It trips me out because I have family members there. A place like Phoenix, there's mainly people from LA that live there. So it trips me out that they're able to pass these laws. And the state of Arizona is 55% Hispanic. So it's just, I don't know how they get away with it.
the
With this stuff.
Republicans aren't ever the popular party. I think, like, as far as the presidency, they've only won the popular vote once in the last 30 years or something, right? So, like,
That was that was Richard.
clearly it doesn't matter what the people want. Republicans, like, you see, like, their dirty tactics with all their anti-voter laws that they're passing all across the nation, so it's like they'll find scummy loopholes, or they'll
Okay, part of the problem is that Democrats are lazy.
So true.
Yeah,
there are more registered Democrats than there are registered Republicans, but the Democrats don't show up on election day. The Republicans do.
I want to add a comment to that, though. Very important. In the state of Wisconsin, more Democrats show up to vote than Republicans, almost every election. And the state legislators, Senate and House, are overwhelmingly Republican because of gerrymandering.
Yeah, that's a very big problem.
Cast more votes, but the Republicans get into office. That's gerrymandering.
Yeah, well, the Republicans do everything they can to rig it.
Yep.
They were pulling ballot boxes here during the presidential election. I thought it was just, you see stuff on the news, you're like, ha ha ha. No, they were pulling massive ballot boxes here, and I live in a red town. I have a scary Trumper story, but Jenny, you can go first.
So did you guys hear about cyber ninjas actually, like, finding less votes for Trump and more votes for Biden? And, like, where was it? Arizona. Yeah,
I heard
we're having an Arizona heavy topic today.
And one of the Fox News commentators is being raked over the coals for accurately reporting that.
I just find it hilarious that, like, now that, like, the election has all but definitively been proven to have been fair and honest, like, Fox refuses to have Rudy Giuliani on their show now because he's implicated in the lawsuit personally.
Giuliani's been disbarred. He can no longer practice law in New York.
Yeah, I know that, but like this is in regards to the Dominion lawsuit against Fox and Rudy Giuliani, and that's why Rudy Giuliani has, like, I think, a 90-day suspension on Fox News, because they don't want to hear his crazy conspiracy theories or have him, like,
he'll indict himself.
He'll leak information or some shit.
And yet, at the same time, they'll still have Mike Lindell on there.
Does he leak information from the same place that he leaks that brown stuff out of his head?
They also, I was so mad at Fox News. They had our local sheriff who got voted in went to Fox News because he was against Gavin Newsom. So where else are you going to go? I was shocked to see him on Fox News trashing the very county that he's supposed to protect. And he's like, oh, they're tying our hands. The Los Angeles County sheriffs are like, if you're poor, it is full apartheid on poor people right now in LA. They're going after homeless people. They're evicting people because the sheriffs have the power to evict people.
Hot take. Anti-homeless measures on benches are kind of dumb.
It's insane, especially in a city like LA where, like, I actually work to help the homeless, and the sheriffs do nothing but just exacerbate the problem and create people that need to go to the hospital. They take people to jail. They get what we call the county cough. They come out sick. They
want to get them off the streets because having homeless people brings down property values. That's all they care about.
It's true. They gentrified downtown Los Angeles. They have.
Personally, I'd rather see a homeless person sleeping on a bench rather than like on the sidewalk, which is what I see right in front of my neighborhood all the time.
Okay.
Because like if they're sleeping on a bench, that's better than sleeping on the fucking sidewalk with all their shit like blowing in the wind. I don't know, but like I think homeless shelters need to do better. I think they're really strict and kick people out too easily.
For some reason, we have become Vogons. We over legislate each other. So everything is you have to sign 15 pieces of paper just to walk in the door, or this person doesn't qualify for this. It's really sad.
Well, part of it's because the scope of the problem keeps growing, but the resources to deal with it don't.
Agreed.
So a lot of the homeless shelters, are prioritizing for women, and then there's no room for the men.
Like here, we had this multi-million-dollar homeless shelter built, and then they only opened it 2 days a week. They had the funding, they had the money, but then they realized they didn't want undesirable people in this town. So I've been fighting the city for like 4 or 5 years to open that thing up. I come with a group of people who have offered to buy the property, and they refuse because they know we're going to open it up and let people live there.
Well, yeah. They want to make a big show that they're doing something about the problem, but they don't actually want to work on the problem.
That's why I go off about performative activism, because there's some shrub like me, like who literally works for a mom and pop nonprofit trying to help people, and it's like it's insurmountable sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like there's just like this climate of anti-homelessness that's existed like throughout the history of America, but I don't necessarily get it because it's just so like apathetic.
Well, the weird thing is not weird because I think as human beings we are just constantly doomed to repeat ourselves. What was happening in the 1920s is happening right now in America. So the same thing that was going on 100 years ago with people living in Central Park, people living wherever they could, it's happening right now in LA. The only difference is the police have moved them off and like to the wash, to the LA River where you can't see them.
At the end of World War II, there were so many vets who were promised benefits post-war and that never got them. There was a shantytown, basically mostly tent stuff, built and that covered the entire National Mall from like the Lincoln Monument all the way to the Capitol building.
That's crazy.
And there was actual talk and attempts at a coup, a military driven coup, because the veterans were not being taken care of as promised. And it got so far as that there actually were people who were, I believe, tried and convicted for whatever the charges were for something like that. Treason.
Well, and again, we're seeing that now. They're finding out how many of people in groups like the Proud Boys, are former military that they're being radicalized by these groups because, they did their time of service, and once they were discharged from active service, the government's been shitting on them.
My brother is not as bad, but he did almost 21 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he was radicalized by an evangelical church because he was kind of like, he lives in Montana. My brother's a wholesome, good guy. He really is, but Iraq and Afghanistan kind of messed him up a little bit. And No one was there to help him. His wife reached out, and guess what? An evangelical church scooped them up, and now they are like front row. They're on the website. My brother's in plays and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know if that's a bad thing, but he basically joined a cult.
Well, a recent FBI investigation turned up 160 of these guys that are still active in the military. So they still have access to the military computers.
Okay. Wait a minute, where did I put my wallet? There's my wallet.
Yeah, I just realized there's something I want to do. I need to
A
find
lot of
somebody.
things I want to do. What do you want to do?
I want to find somebody who can work with fiberglass or maybe fiber arts or something who can make me a replica of Kenny from South Park. And I would like to bring it to the park here and hang it in the tree because this is known as South Park.
Okay.
Then.
That's actually not that difficult. If you were to create a mold of Kenny and then pour resin on top of that mold, you could paint it and do whatever you want, and that thing would sit out there forever and outlast all of us.
Actually, I think I'd rather. I don't like that idea. I think I'd rather put them in the archery range area and let people use them as a target.
I'm trying to think. I have stuff that my dad encased in resin, like old Boy Scout stock cars and stuff. Those things will survive a nuclear. They're going to outlast all of us. That fiberglass resin is no joke.
Is it like in a cube with the thing in the middle or something? Or?
No, he would like put a very thick glaze on it to the point where it was smooth.
Huh.
I'll show you. I have to find it.
If you're wanting a larger sculpture like that, Jenny, you said your brother does car body work. And the same basic technique would work for that, like make a chicken wire frame and cover it with Bondo.
Yeah, but I've seen John try to draw pictures and stuff. He has
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. I could probably make you the basic form. I'm just not that artistic.
Like Isaiah, the other day,
how hard could it be? It's South Park animation.
Oh, it's not at all. That's why I'm telling you, make a cast. The other day, my son was like, "What's stopping us from making statues?" And I looked at him and I said, "Nothing. All you have to do is make a cast. The first cast you make is gonna stink. Then you'll learn, and then, you go from there." Do you know how you get to Carnegie Hall?
Practice.
Practice, 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 practice.
Oh, I thought it was number 39 bus.
Still to this day, that's one of my. You know what? I might put that. I don't have tattoos. I might get that tattooed. It's my favorite saying.
Oh my. Okay.
So I
Yes,
have this this 50 something Bel Air sewing machine that I'm gonna make a video about it, but I pulled it out. There it is in its glory. Let me move this. But this is my grandmother's old sewing machine, and I have been scared of it. And the other day I was like, "You're an atheist." I'm pointing at myself now because I can see myself on the computer. You need to man up, put some stickers on it, because I know just me having this ticks off a lot of people in my family. And I know sorry.
That's a nice piece of work.
It's an amazing. This is a Japanese sewing machine. This was the competition for a Singer 15A. If you look at a Singer 15, it literally is just an arm. Like, they really thought this machine out. But one of the reasons I pulled it out is because every time I look it up, there's no information about it. And I think one of the thing is because not too many people could afford them back in the day. My grandfather always bought the best for my grandmother, and this was basically top of the line Sears Roebuck in the 50s and 60s.
What would a machine like that have cost?
A couple, like $100 or something.
Wow, that's okay. Considering the era, that's a hell of a lot of money.
So, and the funny thing is now the resale value is low because no one knows how to use them. People really, they're like, oh, what is this? This machine is better made than those two right there. And those are, well, that one's brand new and that one's of a modern era, you know. But
What is
everything
there?
in here, sorry.
Is there a trick to using that?
Well, you know what? I just, you have to have patience. I sat down, and the funny thing is, I looked up a singer. It's competition. Their threading mechanism is the same. So I learned how to thread it. You know, I had to do a lot of research because there's not too much information about this in the first place. Because like I have singers in here, like that's a singer Genie. I looked that up. I found everything I needed to know about it. Because singers were widely available, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm stoked that I got it threaded. I threaded the bobbin and everything. I'm actually really excited. But the whole reason I'm even talking about this is because my grandmother was no joke. She was 5'5". She was like 5'5", 5'4". She lived to knock out children. She was from that era. If you looked at her wrong, she would slap you. Like the men in my family never had to be violent because the women were no joke where I'm from. You'll get beat up. So I'm still intimidated, you know, and she's been dead for 3 years. And I told myself the other day, you need to like get over it because this machine, I need to use this machine. This is a well put together machine and it throws down stitches well.
Well, I think you could probably beat her by now.
Yeah. So, because I'm asinine, I ordered a few Fresh Prince of Bel-Air stickers. So I'm going to put some Fresh Prince. Doc, are you still here? I'm going to put some Fresh Prince stickers on this Bel-Air just to be a complete smartass. I'm excited.
Put a Chevy bolt on.
It looks like a Romulan warbird, though, but like the way it was made, these machines are absolutely awesome.
Yo, so
I didn't kill the chat.
I need help with a decision. I was gonna have a date today,
Chocolate.
but I don't have a car to pick them up, and they're in like a city over, so it's like a $55 Uber. Do I drop that amount of money to hang out with them?
Yeah, the question now is, have you got that money to drop on it?
I just got a CARES Act check, which I probably should be saving up for a car.
You might want to do that. And yeah, I mean, I'm being pragmatic here, and being pragmatic is not all that much fun. But
No, but listen. I'm one of those like people who fall in love every week and pragmatic. So tell them to meet you halfway.
I don't have a car, so I don't know how I would get there.
Oh, true. How's it going, Jeff? Oh, yeah.
Jeff is here. Okay, hi, honey.
Well, also, is that like $50 for the one way, and then you need $50 to get home again?
Who's typing?
I don't know. Not I. I'll tell you, if it's anything like last week, I'm going to say that it's probably coming from Jenny, really. The Wisconsin Jenny.
Yeah. Jenny, I'm afraid it's you. When I mute your mic, it goes away.
That's what happened last week.
Yeah, well, and, I realize she's, has the cell phone taped to the windshield, so that's why I don't, generally don't say much about it.
I've heard way worse. I was in a live stream with a horrible echo. Quite a few.
Actually, Jenny, we should find you, some kind of a decent headset you can use. Hopefully, one that's like got a mute button on the cord. Although I think if you had, some kind of headset with it, you wouldn't have the problem with the background noise.
I have a headset, and it would help, but the one cursed thing about an iPhone is that they have the headset going into the same port as the power.
Yep.
And you need an adapter to do both at the same time.
Yeah, I forgot that you got an iPhone.
And I'm going to tell you, because it's Apple, it will only work if it has Apple technology, and especially with the newer stuff. I bought this weird port for my newer laptop, but it was off-brand, and I basically wasted $40 because it's not compatible with my computer.
Yeah, it's the biggest reason I've always avoided Apple products is that they don't want to work with anything else.
Yeah.
You can't buy anything manufactured by any other company.
Yeah, and I had to go to that.
Indeed, is not made by Apple. It's made by Belkin.
Okay.
But it's like $40.
Okay, Belkin's a good brand.
Yeah.
What? I didn't quite catch that. Now, what is the item that would?
It plugs into the power port, and it has one slot for the headphones and it has another slot for the charger for the power.
Okay, so I picked up a package.
If I try to do this show without plugging in, the phone will last an hour tops.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's doing a lot of video and it's doing data and
StreamYard's murders phone.
Jenny, can you later on Twitter, can you send me an Amazon link or that to the thing that you need? I expect we could probably get people here to raise $40 for you to improve your sound quality.
I actually would be very uncomfortable with that at this point. The community has been very gracious to me recently, and I do not want to.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but since you're on the show every week, I think that everybody here would pitch in $5-10 each just to improve your sound quality on the show.
Well, we're not sure that it would.
Help with my phone.
All right, I tell you what. Let's do this.
I'm pretty sure it would get rid of a lot of the background noise.
So the mic I have isn't too expensive. I just have a $70 Pseudotech condenser mic, and mine doesn't pick up background noise very easily. I could send you a link to it.
But Jenny does all of her mobile out of her car, so she just needs something that's going to work with her phone in the car.
I could look up I know they make microphones for phones now. They make full on
I have a really cool. I have a Zoom one. It's somewhere around here. It has a full beard on it and everything. You just plug it into your phone, and it is a full mic recording device, mini studio.
Okay, I'm going to unplug the power and put in the phones.
Yeah, again, it's a question though. Stuff they'll work with Apple.
Testing
Exactly.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, Jeff. How you doing?
I feel like shit, sir.
Yeah, I
I'm
heard
not
you got
staying
bad
long.
news there.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, man.
It could be worse.
It's tough.
It could be worse. If I'd not been vaccinated, I think I'd been really fucked. So.
Yeah, for anybody who didn't see it on Twitter, Jeff's COVID test has come back positive.
Yeah. So I'm indoors for at least a week now. So.
So what that means is you've been hanging around with Tories.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, at least you were vaccinated beforehand, so it shouldn't hit you quite as hard. At least you shouldn't wind up in the hospital.
No, it's more. It's obviously it could be a lot worse. A lot of it is bit more like an annoying cold that just won't go away at the moment. But it is still making me. I'm still tired most
Yeah.
of the time as well. So
Well, it's
But I
still
just
going to
thought-
be like a severe flu.
yeah, it's kind of what it's like to me at the moment. It just feels like a cold that just won't go away. So.
Oh my! So there's the Jeff. I heard him. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, I just
Wait a
thought
minute.
Is my sound Is my sound
wait a
any
minute,
better?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Jenny, we're not having the background noise anymore.
Got kind of an echo though.
There we are. Now I've got the right screen in focus. Yay! Oh, God, I got all kinds of phone calls to make today. Yay!
Yeah, it's Tuesday's generally my day for trying to get business done as much as I can. Although now I've got so many bloody doctors and so many bloody appointments, it's almost every day.
Oh, God, yeah, I know. That's horrible.
Well, for various conditions, I'm now up to the level of seeing 4 different doctors, a therapist, and a psychologist.
That's all for the transition, or is there other shit going on, too?
Well, it's the transition, it's the sleep, it's the arthritis and general things like that.
Oh, boy, shit. I don't
You
know.
know, it's just the combination of trying to work on everything at once.
When you get old, everything breaks. You know how that goes, right?
I'm still
Yeah, well-
young and everything's breaking. What do you mean? I just had blood work done.
It hurts more.
Actually, that's where I was too. I had arthritis and bifocals before I was 25.
Oh, man.
I-
I tell you, I can't rival the bifocals at 25. I can't do that, no.
I went all the way to 43 before I needed bifocals.
You know what's really funny?
But
For everything I've done to my body, I'm surprised I can still see, that my nose works.
Hey,
But
I got to 43 with never needing stitches from a power tool.
do you know ever my I felt invincible up until I got in a major car accident, and it reminded me that I'm a human being and I'm gonna croak one day. I have not been the same. It aged me like 10 years. So now when it gets cold, my left foot feels like the bones are falling off.
Ew, not fun. No.
It's
So
it's
So
amazing how something like that will change your outlook on life. I remember a friend of mine. Friend of mine had a very much what you call a come to Jesus moment on a motorcycle a few years ago. And to be honest, it was, how can I put it? We all a whole bunch of friends all rode motorcycles at the time. So we used to watch the way this kid was riding, and we were telling him, dude, you were going to have a serious fucking accident and hurt yourself if you don't calm down. And he did. He smashed himself up good, and I think he learned his lesson. I'll say that much.
You know, that's the funny thing. Like on a motorcycle, I feel vulnerable, so I won't go full bananas unless I'm on a road by myself. In a car, I don't know. I was too old to be driving the way that I did, and that car accident checked me because I had to turn the wheel. I saved a child and their grandmother's life by turning my wheel so that our cars hit side to side instead of my truck. Because I was in a full Ford F-150, I would have just demolished both of them. You know, I hit a pole. Like, it was a semblance of orders, but still to this day I laugh because I'm a grown man, so I called my mommy and daddy, and my dad came to pick me up. And I'm like, I still had the adrenaline going. My hand was bleeding. And I get in the car. My mom looks at me and she's like, So, are you still an atheist?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Okay.
I'm telling you, she will never miss a moment till like it just pisses her off that I'm not Catholic. And I told her, yeah. You know, honest, it was my it had nothing to do with God. It was just the fact that I turned my wheel, I hit a power pole, and I jumped out. Like, if you know, it was a semblance. I got lucky. It was just a semblance of weird events. You know, but religious people were like, "Oh, you should thank the holy spaghetti monster."
Oh, Jesus. Or just like a friend of mine, when I let her know that my kidneys were on their way out, is like, "So do you believe in God now?" And it's like, "Screw you, Peggy."
It's just like it's blatant confirmation bias because, like, wow, you survived something survivable. Must be God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've got COVID at the moment. I might be born again. I'll be a born again Christian if I survive this. You know.
Oh,
Won't have nothing to do with the doctors or vaccines or anything like that, would it? You know.
Well, you know, and they always credit God for saving you. They never mention that God was the one who put you in the dangerous situation in the first place.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yo, he saved me from himself. He's so kind. Me as either an abusive partner or God.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're supposed to be grateful because somebody pushed you off a cliff, but then threw you a rope.
Well,
it's God's will.
This brings me to my Trumper story. I went to the ranch 2 days ago, and I got that rollaway right there because I'm spoiled and I needed another rollaway for all my my sewing stuff. So I went and got the rollaway, and the guy that I hired, a human being who his tile work is amazing. This man can literally build a house from the frame up by himself. He is a contracting team by himself.
I appreciate that sort of person.
Oh, he's a great guy. I love him. He tiled my house. Like, he's a great guy. That's why I hired him. He was my competition. I gave him my dad's job.
I can do that. You give me the materials and a couple of strong helpers, I can build a house from the ground up.
My whole point is, I forget that he's a disenfranchised Trumper. So I go to the shop and I'm with my son, and he's like telling me Civil War's coming. And you know what? We are gonna start getting taxed for everything over $600. It sucks. Pay your taxes. If you like what you have, pay your taxes. I do a ton of transactions over $600. I'm kind of mad, but you know, when the next president comes in, they're gonna take it away anyways. You know. But because he's going to lose money, because, you know, he's also a private contractor and he does a ton of work. So my whole point is, I asked him, I said, where are you getting this stuff from? And he looks at me and he's like, my pastor said it in church.
By the way, happy birthday, Greg.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. This is a grown man who I respect. Like, I call him when I'm like, hey, how do you do this again? Where do you set this? Like, how much concrete do I pour in? Like, he's an expert. He's not a dummy. He's a genius. But he completely is drinking the Kool-Aid. And like it tripped me out. It really tripped me out. He was telling me like, you should go bury your guns and you should like get ready for the.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man!
I told him because the shop is huge. I told him, man, you're spending way too much time up here by yourself.
I don't get how people can blindly trust whatever asshole tells them something, but then I remember my dad exists and he does that. So it's just like,
well,
I don't get it.
You know, and I find it weird because it's like so many of the people now, you know, they're so scared about the end of the world and this stuff, and it's like, we're relatively safe now. You know, I understand it. My dad was in World War II. He was literally in France fighting the Germans, you know, and came back to the whole Cold War era. So it's like I understood his level of paranoia. I understood why the basement under our front porch was a bomb shelter. I don't get people these days.
Burp, I just sent you 2 pictures. In the shop there's pictures along the wall, and I forgot that my picture's on the wall in the shop of my face when I was trying to be a Buddhist.
Oh no.
If you ever ask an atheist, you know, you should always ask an atheist, how many religions did you get to before you became an atheist?
I was a rarity. I went straight from Christianity, being a full-hearted believer, to being like, nah, this is bullshit.
You know, I'm looking here, and yeah, I can envision you in a saffron robe. Yeah, I certainly can.
The picture I sent, Purple, I'm wearing one. And
you got the right haircut for a Shaolin monk.
I was totally on the search, you know. I even became, well, see, the thing is, I was a wannabe 5% Muslim, but I'm not good with rules, and I love pork. I just loved all, like, the black power, like, have self-respect. I like that, like, look someone in the eye when you speak, read this book, you know. But
I tell you,
it's an actual religion.
Back in the 70s, had I been able to find a Levian Satanist group, I would have been all over it, man. That sounded like a whole bunch of fun.
Well,
I'm going to say my love of bacon definitely crossed Islam and Judaism off my potential options, yes.
Yeah. I didn't know about it.
I've never been much of a joiner myself, so I didn't actually join any religions, but I studied all sorts of pagan paths before I became an atheist.
I watched a lot of, like, Louis Farrakhan. I actually went and saw Louis Farrakhan at least 4 times. I saw Bill Cosby with Louis Farrakhan and this other, like, black guy who was... That's me on the wall at the shop.
Oh, for the love of St. Gulick. It's okay, then.
The skylights, I was trying to get a picture where the skylights weren't all up on it, but, like, oh, I'm young in that picture too.
You look about 14.
No, I'm like 22. I'm like 22 in that picture.
So
I just yeah.
After being an atheist, did you ever, like, look into other faiths? Once you were like, I'm an atheist.
I know, because I feel I don't and the second picture I sent you is just my old dumpy truck that I drive around because I love that thing. And I have 2 better vehicles. But no, because I don't believe in any of it. I felt like I was looking for, like, there's this black atheist I watch named William Jones, okay? And he always says that, like, we're looking for God, but really it's us. Like, we're the one making it up. We're the one making ourselves catatonic. We're the ones, like, so you more have to, like, look inside yourself. And once I realized that, it's all just, for me, religion was always about control.
Yeah.
You know, because I came from really controlling people. And so once I got away from that, I'm like, I don't believe in any of this. You know, because the ground, I love that truck.
Oh, okay then.
So
that's my dumpy. That's my. I have a newer Ford F-150 and a Ford Flex, but that's my dumpy old truck I drive around town. 25 feet long.
Whoa.
That's a 1988 Ford F-150 Lariat.
That's not a truck. That's a train.
Oh, it's a tank. That thing, it could tow any size trailer. You know, I towed the tractor once trying to be cocky. Almost pulled the frame off, but in second low, I pulled an oak tree. But let's be real, I went and dug out the roots. So it's not like the commercial.
I could say, Will, Do you know many other people who own them? Because I'm just saying, we've got a real shortage of lorry drivers in the UK, and I think if you can drive one of them, you're qualified.
You know, I can. I was thinking about. I'm certified for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know how much you've been hearing about what's our shortage of truck drivers in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
And we're starting to get shortages on the shelves here now. Yeah,
And petro too. That trips me out.
Everyone's panic buying petrol.
Why?
Again.
You know, just like in Texas, where was it? Was it in Florida or Texas? Was that Texas when people were putting gas in bags?
Oh,
like
yeah,
a Texan
no,
thing.
it's the answer to that question is probably yes.
Okay, so people, if you don't know how to properly stabilize gas, there's no point in hoarding gas.
Right.
If you don't have the proper tanks, if you don't have the proper stabilizers, basically, if you don't know what you're doing, you are literally panic buying.
Well,
Alternatively, like, I think everyone should know that gas goes in a jerry cannon.
yeah. There is a
think-
reason that there is a sticker on every single gas pump in the United States that says something to the effect of "no unapproved containers."
Yes.
Yeah.
At the ranch, we have a giant diesel drum that's treated. We have we have gas cabinets, and we replace it every 30 days. Like, you can't just have gas laying around.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
people
not only does the stuff go stale and lose its power, but if you use stale gas, it's going to put lacquer all over the fuel injectors and screw up your engine.
It will destroy you. I hate to laugh, but it's just.
I don't know if anyone saw the little joke I put up on Twitter the other day, and it was saying for sale 1984 Ford Fiesta, rusted chassis, 2 punctured tires, smashed windscreen, broken speedometer, broken carburetor, everything, full tank of fuel, 25,000 or nearest offer.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's like here. So one of the reasons my dad got that painted all white was because all the white power guys started painting their trucks all white. So my dad was like, "Oh, you're not going to leave me out." He was a goof. People have offered me outrageous amounts of money for that truck, and to me, I'm just like, this is my dad's old tank, you know. It's amazing. If you find a fanatic, you could sell anything.
Yeah.
And we call it Disneyland prices, but here in California, everything is just so much more expensive.
Well, it's California. Yeah, absolutely.
There was one time I almost drove to Oregon for a delivery truck because it was $6,000 cheaper than anything I could find in California.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, New York and California, the home of high prices.
In Florida, do you have outrageous prices to live near the beach?
I would imagine. I mean, like, I could only really speak for Tampa, and Tampa has like ridiculous housing prices.
Because sorry.
In Milwaukee, it costs a lot of money to live by the lake.
That's what I figured. It's in, like, I live in the Goldilocks zone where it's 30 miles to downtown, 25-30 miles to the beach. You know, Vegas is east, the mountains are north. People pay a lot of money.
I have got to move, believe it or not.
For context as to what the housing is like in Tampa, I'm in like an okay 1-story home, and it's $340,000.
So in California, my neighbor in the same setting in which you just said sold their house for $800,000.
I can't count that high.
I always tell the joke, and it was true. That weekend, I was at Lowe's, and I saw 3 of my neighbors, and we all knew why we were there. We all painted our houses.
So like, that's why I'm thinking of getting a roommate or like being roommates with this guy I'm dating, because like it's just so expensive to live in Tampa, and I don't want to move out of Tampa. Yeah, like eventually I do, but like not when I'm saving up money for the first time right out of school, you know?
So I'm not trying to get all like grandpa gay on you, but this is just from personal experience. Move in with a friend, don't move in with someone you're having sex with.
I was just going to say that, Will. Yeah.
Every time I've ever done that, it's been a nuclear disaster, and I end up in my car like, man, I haven't learned this lesson yet.
I was also thinking of bringing one of my partners into Tampa to have like 2 roommates. So maybe it's a bad idea, but I don't know.
Just be careful. Just be careful. Because there are people right now where we hate each other because somebody had to, because we ruined our credit by breaking up.
Oops. Yeah. Okay.
It's happened to me at least twice.
Okay.
Yeah, and it sounds like a dipshit thing, but if you're having somebody move in with you, make sure that you type up a lease agreement between the two of you.
Yes,
You have it very clearly spelled out what each of your responsibilities are.
Absolutely.
Don't leave anything vague about the money or the chores, the house cleaning and upkeep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because everybody says, oh, well, we're friends or we're lovers. We don't need any of that stuff. Yes, you do, because you're friends or because you're lovers. Yes.
Well, and inevitably, there is going to be some difference in what the two of you consider an acceptable level of housekeeping.
Oh, yes.
So make sure you have it established at a level that both of you can tolerate.
So I am the world's worst roommate. This is why a long time ago someone told me, man, you better make a lot of money because you're a terrible roommate. But I picked this room to be, and the middle bedroom to be a complete slob. The rest of my house is like a museum. I'm weirdly a clean freak. And my son, because he was raised around me, he doesn't know any better, so he's a clean freak in a lot of ways, So we coincide well, but I'm not a good roommate because I'll bitch at somebody.
I think I'd be full on like Sheldon in the Big Bang Theory with the roommate agreement,
Oh, damn right.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I could live in complete filth or cleanliness. It really doesn't matter to me. I think like it would be fine if they wanted an agreement, but I personally don't get hung up on a lot of things. I'm barely even like not conscious, but like aware of my surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well,
90% of the day.
Okay, there are some chores that have to be done, like the dishes have to be washed.
Yeah, the cat box has to be clean.
Yeah, make sure that you have those kind of responsibilities spelled out about, who's expected to do what.
I'm hoping to get an apartment with a washing machine, a dishwashing machine.
Somebody still needs to load it.
You
just put the dish in after you're done eating.
No, you gotta wash it off.
Yeah, but you wash it off after you're done eating, and then you put it in the dishwasher. I do this in my day-to-day life already.
Okay, see, yes,
no,
I agree.
Okay,
you do that, but if it's not spelled out, what happens if you get a roommate who just throws the dirty dishes in the sink and doesn't do anything else?
Well, I'm not gonna do anything about it. It's their dirty dishes, so the dishes are gonna pile when they have no clean dishes, then they're gonna figure it out, man.
I
don't care.
I miss those days. Everything you just said right now, I miss those days in a way. I've been there. I've totally been there.
Yeah, if they run out of clean dishes to use, I'm still gonna wash my dish. So I'll have a dish at least always.
Do you guys have? So I'm trying to think who my last roommate was. That was an adult. It was. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
I just said I'm gonna have to jump off, guys. So I'm starting to like doze off again. So I'm gonna have to get
Well,
some
get
rest.
well.
I think.
Well, yeah, you need to get lots of
Yeah.
rest. I'm sure it's fatiguing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I thought I'd pop on and say hello for a few minutes. I think I need. I need to go and just lay down again. I think. So.
Well, lots of
Take
rest
care.
and as much fresh produce as you can is the thing that's going to
Yeah.
get you better fastest.
Yeah. Okay. So see you later, guys.
Take
Bye.
care,
Jeff.
honey.
Bye-bye.
Speaking of fresh produce, I was just informed that my food stamps were increased.
Yay.
Yay! I mean, it's still next to nothing, but it was
Okay,
increased
cool.
from $30 to $56 a month.
That's a big jump. That's
Well,
awesome.
Yeah. And certainly every dollar helps in your situation.
Absolutely, because I'll tell you the way they want me to eat, like the dialysis dietitian and everything else like that. That costs money, kids. They want me to eat things like beef.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, have you seen the price of beef lately? God.
I have a question. Has
Yes,
pork gone up where you guys live?
I haven't looked lately, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it has.
It has. It's jumped so much. I'm taking pictures of it at our local grocery store. 3 weeks ago, a rack of ribs was $11 to $13.
Yeah.
Okay.
That same rack of ribs is now $34.
Well, the
Wow.
thing that happened, especially with the beef and pork, was that last year during the height of the pandemic, they couldn't get enough workers to take care of all the animals.
Oh,
So
yes.
they wound up slaughtering the animals just in huge numbers and processing them into meat. So,
Yeah.
we had the price drop last year, but yeah, now the herds are a lot smaller. So on the supply end, the supply chain, there isn't as much meat coming through now this year as there would normally be this time of year.
It's crazy. It's
I
just
just bought a roast. They wanted $7 a pound for this thing. But I
wow.
bought the roast because I've got $1,200 in food stamps. I've got to use them, and they want me to eat. They want me to eat beef.
Ground beef.
Say again, honey.
Ground beef. It's cheap.
That's not cheap either.
Yeah.
Cheaper
Cube
than
steak.
a roast.
Yeah.
Cube steak is usually cheaper.
Well, this 2.5 pound roast is going to last me a week because the last one also did.
So
Okay.
because I'm half Mexican, I do food prepping Mexican style. I buy a giant thing of ground beef and I make taco meat. And then I put it because I'm obsessed with making tacos and burritos. So then I just put it in the fridge, and anytime I want to make one, it's instantly, I just put it in the microwave, heat it up, and it's ready to go.
Well, we tend to do that too, that, if those big chubs, like the 5-pound chubs of ground beef go on sale,
Damn
we'll
right.
get one of those and mix the whole thing into taco meat and then split it into containers and freeze it as 1-pound portions in containers.
That's how I live. I'm gonna go eat that combo after this.
Yeah. Although, yeah, primarily we just eat a lot of chicken.
Recipe.
I will. I definitely will. It's nothing.
That sounds like a good idea. I like that.
I add. It's nothing special. Like I add chorizo.
Oh yeah.
Do
okay.
it. And I do that with hamburgers too. And it's funny? I do it on my super Trumpy friends, my neighbors. People, they're always like, "Oh, these burgers taste so good," and they never tell them that I mix chorizo in. That's like literally my secret, and it's not a secret. But it
Okay,
just makes.
the key to good taco meat, the thing that the cheap brands skimp on is the cumin.
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of like.
the cumin is one of the most expensive spices in there, so they always cut back on that, and those are the brands that you don't get much flavor out of.
Do you guys like guacamole?
Yeah, I do. I can't eat it because avocados are heavy in phosphorus, I think, and I'm a kidney patient, so I.
Oh, that stings.
Yeah.
There's 900 different ways to make guacamole. Like, I'm addicted to avocado salsa. I like it where it's almost pureed and really spicy. That I don't even know what you would call it at that point, you know?
Personally, I like raw avocado more than guacamole. But like, I'll put it on my burgers.
Oh yeah.
With like bacon and a fried egg. That's
you're making me hungry.
One thing I used to love to make is avocado stuffed zucchini. You would cut zucchinis in half, blanch them, scoop the meat out of the shell, mix it with mashed up avocado, put it back in, and then chill it and eat it. Oh God, yummy!
Oh, that sounds really good. I might try that.
Yeah. Avocado
I've got the actual recipe over on my bookshelf. I can write it down and send it off to you.
Awesome.
It's from a vegetarian cookbook that I've had for 50 years.
I cook every day, so I need new combos.
Yes, honey. What? You hear the cat, right?
Oh
yeah, avocado is one of those fruits that I don't like it in anything. The only way I like it is just slice it in half. And, you know, when you take the pit out, you fill that up with lemon juice and just scoop it out like that.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
I think because I grew up more on the Hispanic side, like I am obsessed with avocado, salsa, spicy. Like not so spicy that it's not enjoyable, but I like semi-spicy food. I'll eat menu though, even though it's literally tripe.
So I ate so much spicy food as a kid that I literally can't really taste spicy things unless it's like extraordinarily hot. And even the extraordinarily hot things aren't that spicy to me.
Same. That's like when I went to Louisiana and they're like, "Oh, you're from California." Like I think someone was literally trying to hurt me because they were looking at me and I'm like, "It's not that spicy." As my lips were tingling. I didn't say a word though. I didn't say a word.
I like things to be well seasoned. I don't like just the heat spice.
Right. Yeah, you don't go full on raw.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like I don't
do jalapeno peppers or anything like that.
You know what's funny? I like the taste of jalapenos, but the older I get, I can't eat them as much because they give me mega heartburn.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's part of it. I've always suffered from the acid reflux, so anything that kicks up the acid too much is just not a good experience.
Ever since my dad passed away, on the weekends I take my mom out to eat on the weekends, at least once or twice on the weekends, and we're obsessed with this Mexican restaurant by our house. I'm literally in the car popping Tums before we go there because I know, I know it's gonna give me indigestion. As I'm literally talking, my indigestion heard me talking about indigestion.
There you go.
Oh, that's funny.
Going to the restaurant, even though you have indigestion.
Bacon wrapped. Oh, those are so good. We eat those here all the time in Southern California. Those are so good. You guys are making me hungry. You know,
my fiance loved the the deep fried jalapenos. That was one of her favorite snack things.
Oh, those are so
Lone Wanderer over here. Bacon wrapped cream cheese stuffed jalapeno. Boy, that sounds interesting.
Oh, we eat those all the time. There's a county fair up by my house, and they quite literally will fry anything. So it's that place where you can get fried Oreos, fried ice cream, fried quite literally anything you could think of. And I have yet to meet a combo that they fried that I thought was gross. And I don't even really like pickles or gherkins, but a fried gherkin is amazing.
At the Minnesota State Fair, there is always a food truck there that will do anything you want deep fried on a stick.
Oh, So good.
You know, you bring him anything you want, he'll dip it in the batter and deep fry it.
I want to try
So-
fried ice, not ice cream. Fried ice.
They do. That's a thing, isn't it?
It shouldn't be because it would just turn into water, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Let's try it. No, I'm kidding. If you put water in a fryer, it would explode. That's
Yeah.
like when they.
Yeah,
That's like when they do. My older brother, like, you know, I have family members that are 30 years older than me, and like one of my middle brothers who's like 15 years older than me, he fries a turkey every year. And the first year he fried a turkey, he burnt down his garage because he didn't properly thaw it, and he had where I'm from, like a bendejo. He had it in his garage, which was detached from his house because he lives in an older style house.
Oh,
But-
that's an annual event here in Minnesota. We have a betting pool for how many people will burn down their garage between Thanksgiving and Christmas deep frying turkeys.
It happened 20 something years ago. I still clown him for that one.
Like I said, in Minnesota, it happens at least a half dozen of them a year.
I have to ask: is deep frying a turkey really that worth it?
They taste great.
But like, you can get serious burns. You can burn down your house. You can burn down your yard. You can do a lot of damage deep frying an improperly fried turkey. It can shoot out like a projectile
Yes.
and then break something.
Especially
So, you
oil,
know,
because I deep fry everything.
Is deep frying a turkey really that worth it?
Well, and
Like, weighing all of the cons. I've never had deep fried turkey, so I don't know how good it is. But
Oh,
it
it's
must be
great.
really good if people are taking this much of a risk doing it.
and what you were saying about deep frying ice, I have heard numerous incidents of this, that people were deep frying a turkey and were too stupid to realize that they were not supposed to use a frozen turkey.
Thank you. That's exactly what my brother did. That's a good way. Well, that is when you get explosions. And as somebody who deep fries everything, I still fry my French fries because I'm not living forever and no one gets off this rock alive and all those cliches you're supposed to say.
So I have a recipe for French fries, right? This is my personal French fry recipe. You want red potatoes. You don't want russet potatoes. You don't want brown potatoes. You want red potatoes because they got the most flavor. Now, you're gonna fill up a pot mostly with oil, and then you're gonna put a stick of butter in the oil, and then you're gonna heat it up at a low heat so that the butter melts into the pot. Then you get it hot enough for it to be frying temperature. You put the fries in, take them out like once they're nice and dark brown, and then you coat them with garlic salt. Best fries. They taste sweet and salty and garlicky.
Okay, so I do all of that without the red potatoes because I'm addicted to garlic salt.
But you gotta use butter in the oil because if you don't use butter, you don't get the flavor.
I'm taking all these tips. I still cook with lard, so don't take any medical advice from Godless Sewing.
I want to buy MSG, so I'm also not an authority on good food.
You feel like there's way cheaper ways to hallucinate.
Well, I wasn't gonna hallucinate on MSG. I just wanted to season my fucking Asian food.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask a dumb question. What is MSG? Was it just a flavoring?
It's monosodium glutamate. It's
I know that.
Sugar and salt. That's basically what it is. It's sugar and salt.
So why was it portrayed so in the 90s at any fast food place they would have no MSG, like 10 signs on the wall,
I would assume that it has something to do with racism because a lot of Asian cuisine involves MSG.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It was like Panda Express used to have those signs. Or like Walk Place or anything like that.
I don't know. Like people fearmonger over like any macronutrient. Like MSG isn't that bad for you. Like if you use it like salt or like less than salt. You
But it's
know,
like GMOs as well. People, someone was like, why are we getting extra beta carotene in our food and blah blah blah? Like, well, maybe it's not bad for you.
I mean,
maybe you don't have to eat a carrot, and you know.
if you want to get mad at Monsanto, get mad at them like being a terrible company towards like small businesses. Don't get mad at them for creating like better food.
Yeah, no, that's my whole point. Like there's a place called Aqua Bounty Farms. Like they genetically modify all the trout for Southern California and Northern California. Like you should be mad at them because they have a monopoly. We've been trying to stop them for years. You know.
Okay,
I'll give you
wait a minute. Genetically modified trout. What are they doing?
They're controlling. And they're controlling their spawning and everything else. They're literally growing them in vats, and then putting it. And then putting
anything special that they're trying to do, or I mean,
no. But you
they
get
give them superpowers or something.
People are like, why are people mad about how chickens are beefier, pigs are beefier? You know, it's just they're more corn fed. And so people are like, "Oh, what are you putting in my food? What are you doing?" And then they show you what they're doing. They show you what they're putting in the food, and then people turn around and they say this and this is toxic when really it's just a bigger fish. And because we have the science to do it, people are scared of it.
A lot of it comes from ignorance, right? Because like you can make anything about food sound bad if you word it the right way. You know?
Yeah.
And like in Oregon, they've been doing it for years. It's called hatcheries. The only difference is Aqua Bounty Farm tells you they're genetically modifying their fish, you know.
So and then the other thing is you've really got to watch that dihydrogen oxide. That stuff will kill you if you're not careful.
Yeah, shit like that. But like, it's just like there's nothing inherently wrong, right, about most things in food. Even like it's fine to have fats in your diet. In fact, fats, for the most part, are really healthy for you because they're a dense source of calorie that doesn't store as body fat. So fats are pretty good. But if you make it sound bad, like you can get heart disease. You can get heart disease by eating excessive amounts of fats or sugars, right? It's not just like
if someone followed my diet, it would probably kill them in a year. But I don't know why I'm still alive.
It's just like these things in moderation, right? MSG, salt, fats, sugars, all of the shit in moderation is absolutely fine for you. Bleached sugar, yes, it's not the healthiest thing. Yes, like it can store as fat really easy, and it makes things like even more so in caloric value. But at the end of the day, if you're having like one ice cream every 2 weeks, you're not gonna die.
Right, absolutely.
So, because like, I was tired of being a fat kid at the end of high school. So like, I learned a bunch of shit about dieting, and I found out that like, mostly it's just like watching what you eat. It's not excluding things because they changed the DNA of this fruit, that they can change your DNA. That's not a thing. That's just not something that happens.
Yeah,
I watch what I.
For me, it's I never even really paid much attention to what I eat. It's just a matter of matching your intake to your level of activity. When I was doing a lot of very physical work, I could eat anything and it didn't matter. When I was sitting home on the computer most of the time, you can't eat so much. That's all.
I definitely watch what I eat. I mean, it's on the plate. I watch it go into my mouth, and I watch it accumulate around my middle. Yeah. Wah, 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 wah. I'll see myself out.
Well, you've got to be careful about eating too fast because haste makes waste.
That is true. That is true. Oh man, I don't know. Was it? I'm just curious, Purple, if it was noticeable to you the first time that you saw me and the second time that you saw me live. There was 70 pounds difference. I don't know if it showed or not.
I commented on it that, between when I had seen you for the ARC protest and last time I drove down there, that, your profile was noticeably slimmer.
And I really liked that because at the ARC protest, I weighed 240 and I'm 5'9". And then the last time you saw me, honey, I was about 170. I'm closer to 180 now, so I've got to watch myself and be careful. It feels a lot better. It really does.
I seem to have plateaued again at just shy of 175.
Okay.
I'm the exact same height. I was 170 my entire adult life. COVID hit. I don't know if it's like welcome to 40. But I am 205 pounds.
Oh wow, okay.
But I work out. I work out, so I try to keep it But I'm super lanky, so you can't tell. Like I have really long arms. But it's one of those. It's one of those weird things. Like I hit 40 and I can't lose weight anymore.
Oh gosh, I know that feeling. Oh,
I just can't. Like when I was younger, if I got heavy, I'd just go walk half a mile for 2 weeks around the neighborhood.
Well, your metabolism does change because I actually never put on any weight until I was in my mid-40s.
Okay. Yeah, I was at 205 for the longest time. Through my, since I started my transition and until I quit smoking, I was at about 205. And I quit smoking and I put on 35 pounds just like that. Yeesh. That was not my idea of a good time to gain 35 pounds within 2 months.
Yeah, that's very common with people quitting smoking.
Yep.
So I think that's part of it too. Is I quit smoking cigarettes 3 years ago, and of course I replaced it with food, aka cornbread.
So you and I quit at about the same time. I quit in August of 18.
Oh, awesome! I was June of 18.
Okay.
Yeah. I couldn't justify smoking pot and smoking cigarettes because one of them was killing me. And so I quit smoking cigarettes and all of a sudden I could breathe and smell again.
Okay.
Still to this day, my nose is like a sentinel. It's the weirdest thing.
Yep.
I think because I started smoking when my body was developing, when you're a kid, you do things to yourself you don't realize, like you're still developing,
Right.
And so as an adult, when I quit smoking, my kid walks in the room, I'm like, go brush your teeth. I know you didn't brush your teeth. Get out of here. Like
you can smell the bad breath. Yeah.
My senses picked right up when I quit smoking. It's the weirdest thing.
That was one advantage of being the youngest with a lot of siblings. Is it was easy for me, even from a young age, to identify patterns and know that, okay, anything that happened to my middle brother is going to happen to me in 5 years if I don't do something different.
Okay.
It's funny you would say that. I have one of my brothers was a Marine. He was in Bosnia. He's ran 17 marathons, and he's now almost 400 pounds.
Wow.
And so he tells me all the time, he's like, no one believes me when I say I used to be a Marine. No one, and he has all of his medals from running the marathons and stuff, but I don't know what happened to him,
Well,
holy shit, Greg. 117. That's like not being there at all.
117, I was wondering what grade he got stuck in for the extra 99 years.
Yeah. God.
At 170, people as an adult, people were, and it's because it's a culture thing, but people are always like, "Are you sick?"
Yeah.
I hated that question because I was always skinny. Like, no, I'm just skinny. Get out of here.
From the time I was 14 until I was about 40, I was 140 pounds. And then around 42, 43, then I rather quickly went up to like 170, 180.
No, I've always been thick, but like the cis het boys used to make fun of my thighs, and now they all want to fuck my thighs.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how that works out. It's funny how that works out. It's so true.
I mean, I got neck snappers. Like, that's how big my thighs are. So, you know.
Oh my, oh my.
No, that's hilarious.
Now, I rode all the way through high school at 175. I mean, I was a 13-year-old at about 170.
So was I when I was in high school. I told this story. I was in home economics. Football coach walked in and was like, "Bro, next year you're playing football," because I was this height in high school. I haven't grown an inch. Height-wise since high school, but I was bigger than everybody else. And the coach was like, didn't even ask me, just told me like, next year you're, and I did. I played football that next year because I was, but when I played football, I was the same size as everybody else because they were larger people, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all after me to play football when I was in high school. I was a big kid. I mean, 5'9", 170, and I'm 13 years old. Excuse me. But I couldn't see the point of football. I wanted to play baseball, and unfortunately, I just wasn't good enough to play baseball.
Same. I got kicked off the team because the coach was evangelical, and the coach said to my face, "You curse too much. I don't want you on my team."
Okay.
I was a foul-mouthed kid.
Duck, goose, chicken.
At least you didn't get forced into wrestling.
Oh, man.
If there's one thing I could probably trace back to me being gay or T4T, it would probably be like wrestling in high school because, like I said, I was always thick. But like I would get the top of a weight class. So I would get 300-pound people and I was at like 180.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. All the wrestlers I knew in high school were bulimic. No lie. They would all go out to a restaurant or whatever, and then they would, eat a big meal and then throw up.
Yeah, when you want to be in a lower weight class, you don't want to be with the big kids.
When I played high school football, and I only lasted 1 year because I'm an observant human being. I don't do well in groups. I've always been kind of an outsider, and it's not even anything that I'm like boo-hoo about. I'm okay with it. But like all the top tier kids, they were doing steroids. And I never forget, I looked at someone, and I know them still to this day. I looked at him and I was like, I do recreational drugs. Steroids do not look like fun. They had zits on their fingertips. They had zits like everywhere.
Fuck no.
16, 17, they're just like, if I'm going to destroy my body, at least I'm going to have fun. Like, take some mescaline or something. Don't take any medical advice from Godless Sewing. But my whole point is, when I was younger, we took hippie drugs and wandered in the desert, Taking steroids was like non-negotiable for me when I was a kid, but I thought it was just in the movies is what I'm trying to say. So when I was in high school, it was surreal to see, rich suburb kids shooting up in the locker room,
Well, yeah, these men who take steroids for sports always seem so stupid to me because it's like they're usually doing this so that they can impress the girls, but at the same time, it's taking away their ability to do anything if they actually get a girl.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you do not, I had a good friend who was too dumb for college. We don't get along anymore, so I will say some really mean things about this person. He was so dumb at football. They had plays where they would just tell him like run forward, but he was like a refrigerator. When he stopped taking steroids, he developed breasts because part of taking steroids is you take estrogen. So you're on all these different hormones. You're taking all these different, because steroids is just a word. People are taking all these drugs to stay away from the tests. So they'll be like, oh, horse estrogen works. Or like, pig's blood. It's always something weird, you know? But this particular friend of mine, like utterly and completely, his body changed at 19 years old because he was washed up high school football star, It's just sad. It's just sad when people don't know what they're doing. They don't realize.
Absolutely.
What you're saying is DIY HRT is horse estrogen. Gotcha.
Yep.
Do not take any.
I'm all about that.
No, that's a side effect of steroids. If you don't work out, you grow breasts. That's because you're taking estrogen.
So if I don't give a letter of recommendation from my therapist for HRT, I'm going to steroids.
Do not take any medical advice from God. I just shouldn't have said a damn thing.
Well, as a matter of fact, there is a brand name for horse estrogen. It's called Premarin.
Oh gosh, and Respidol was the drug that was giving men breasts too. There was a huge lawsuit for that.
Wait a minute, Respidol.
Yeah, look up Respidol. The pictures will pop right up. And there was a huge lawsuit because men were growing breasts.
Respirol that doesn't sound right, does it?
I'm probably saying it wrong because I have a West Coast accent. Respidol.
I wonder, is it used to treat wait a minute, what do we have here? Is it an aerosol that you inhale?
Let me see if my bad spelling will. Oh yeah, it's Respidol. IRSPERDAL.
Okay. It's an
antipsychotic.
Yeah, I was going to say it used to treat schizophrenia, bipolar. Yeah, okay.
I was wondering if that was a medication that you were talking about. I take that.
Oh well, it gives you breasts.
Well, I've always had breasts. Like even like so like I've always had breasts, but okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. There was a major lawsuit in the UK all over because people were taking it not knowing what was going to happen.
Yo,
Risperidone.
Actually,
okay.
Just to prove my point, I might post one of my tit pics to Twitter just to see if it gets a content warning on it.
I see so much porn and butts and boobs on Twitter. It's not even funny. More than even on Instagram.
Actually, like, no, I'll put in the private chat like a picture of my fursona, and like I basically just traced my own body. Where is it? Where's my media?
I promised to get half naked for 100 subscribers, and I'm at like 108, and I need to get on that.
You need to get on that, definitely. One of the side effects of Risperidol is weight gain. So in that sense, there may be some breast enlargement for females. Because Risperidol affects the levels of prolactin, however, it may cause the production of milk even in girls who have not reached the age of puberty. Interesting. And then here's another question. Why does risperidone cause gynecomastia? It works by blocking dopamine and has an effect, they spelled effect wrong, on the pituitary gland, which may stimulate the production of prolactin. Okay. Yeah, they said it has an affect on the pituitary gland. No. It's an effect on the gland. Yeah, okay. Anyway,
it was big news, but like I always jokingly say that I live in the LA Hollywood area, so everyone around here kind of just laughed. We were kind of like ha ha, because everybody has boobs around here.
Okay,
so it's not a big deal,
I could use I could use a decent rack, but
I'm against anyone getting a medical procedure and not knowing what's going to happen to them. Though,
Right,
that's
right.
different. That's
Right.
different. Like if you don't know what's going to happen, that's torture, basically. You know,
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
You know.
No, be well informed. Absolutely. Know what you're in for.
And doctor, like we kind of overstate nowadays, like what well-informed consent is. Legally, well-informed consent is not you saying, "Oh, I want this." It's the doctor thinking that you are of sound mind and body enough to know what you're doing. That's what informed consent is. It's not necessarily an individual right.
So I
Wait a
couldn't
minute.
find
What
my-
is this?
I couldn't find. my
Oh, there you
persona.
go. Okay, I got you.
I couldn't find my persona, but that's like just a picture of me without my shirt on
Decent.
in the private chat.
I wouldn't mind a rack like that.
Yeah, I was just born with boobers. I'm not even like, overweight enough to have boobers. I just got boobers.
Hey, I like, I need to start making necklaces. I love what you're wearing.
Oh yeah, my 2 collars.
I need to get on that because I have all the materials to do that. I need some good old, I miss my arm guards. I think I have my Knights Templar ones in here somewhere.
You searching for the Holy Grail? Is that it?
No, I'm super anti-racist. So when I see someone usurps like a symbol and says, "Okay, this is for white supremacy," I go out and wear it. And I'm like,
My dad's home, so I'm gonna head off before he starts screaming at the top of his lungs.
Okay.
About random shit.
Oh,
Bye,
my.
guys.
Okay, well,
Thanks
take care,
for
honey. Good
joining
talking
us.
to you.
Yeah, before I go, check out Nat 1 Heroes. It's the only thing I do on the internet anymore. So
Definitely.
if you like Dungeons and Dragons, it's fun.
Moof
Bye,
beef.
guys.
Take care, honey.
Toodles.
Yes.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head off too. I'm getting really sleepy here, so
Okay, your
Great
bedtime.
seeing you.
deal.
Great seeing you, Doc.
Take care, honey. And then there were 3.
I can't stay all night because I in the next half hour, 45 minutes, I have to take my my crew out to lunch or they're gonna mutiny.
Well, I have to get up early tomorrow, and I just hope that the people at the dialysis center know that I'm coming early because I have an appointment tomorrow, and it was scheduled on one of my dialysis days, which I'd like to punch the doctor in the face for that.
Oh my god! Do they do that to you often? Do they do that to you often? Like,
no. Well, this is the first time because it's the first such appointment she's made for me.
Okay.
But I'm getting the blood vessels in my arm mapped so I can get a fistula for getting the needles stuck into my arm for the dialysis and get this port taken out. I'm looking forward. I don't like the idea of hemodialysis every other day for the rest of my fucking life, but it'll be nice to get this port taken out so I can actually have an actual shower and wash my hair. I mean, I haven't had a real shower since June. Not fun.
Yeah, I can imagine that would definitely get to you.
You're not, but that's not close to the world record yet, so you're fine.
Okay, then.
I'm kidding. I'm trying to be positive.
Okay,
I'm trying to put.
Kind of sounds like everybody needs to go, so maybe we should just wrap up here. And we've been going about 2 hours.
Okay. I am. I want to say I am so excited that you're starting your show at 8:00 on because I always wake up groggy on Friday morning. So the West Coast guy is really excited that your show is on at 8:00 at night tomorrow evening.
Okay, that's 10 o'clock real time to everyone else.
Yeah, there you go. Now, what you've got to do, Will, is come on over to my channel on Sunday mornings. Let's see, it's 9 a.m. for you.
I will. I listen to you and Kate when I'm driving around.
Okay.
So
Yeah, Kate,
there's people who know the sound of both of your voices.
Kate's a lot of fun.
I pipe it in through the speakers of my truck. I went out and spent $50 on a fancy radio to put in my truck.
All right then.
But I can plug my phone into it.
And Manda, Pale Blue Mama, has been joining us lately, and that's always good.
Awesome.
It's always nice to have her around.
Awesome. Heck yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, go ahead. Diana, why don't you go ahead, plug whatever you want to plug?
Well, okay. I am Diana Clarion, the Lavender Lady, with Sunday at noon and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Sunday is Coffee with Lavender, and Tuesday evening is the open chat. I'm trying to get a few more things done. I'm actually editing some episodes of The Transgendered Chef, which I'm hoping to get out at least every week, and we can see what happens with that stuff. And we'll see what else we can do, other things, and try to keep everybody happy. Throw me a couple bucks so I can pay my co-payments.
totally.
Yeah, do my begging here while we're at it. I hope you come by, because we have a lot of fun when we are on air. You were over the channel last night, weren't you, Purple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just in the side chat for a while.
You know what?
Things going on here.
This whole conversation, I need to go through my all my subscriptions and see if I hit the bell icon or not, because sometimes it's me. But YouTube has really been flubbing up lately.
Yes, they have.
Because I look and I'm like, how come I'm not, especially like on a Thursday night, I should get like 15 notifications.
I don't even do it anymore. I just don't trust the YouTube. It won't notify me. So I've just shut it all off. And I just go through every day, go through my subscription feed. And anytime somebody's got an upcoming live stream, I put that in a separate watch list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I organize those by what order they're coming up in. So I can just go to that list and I can see, okay, who's live streaming today.
Sorry, go ahead.
The problem I have is that everybody's competing with everybody else. I am subscribed literally to over 700 channels. So they're all beating on each other to get to my list, and a lot of them don't make it.
Yeah, there's always that problem. I've sometimes had 5-6 channels I want to watch that are all streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially like on a Thursday night or a Saturday night,
Well, that's why I had started the Thursday at midnight thing, because 3 years ago when I started doing that, that was the only time slot I could find that somebody I wanted to watch wasn't already streaming.
Okay. Yeah. And now everybody's streaming all the time, and you just can't get away from any of it.
Well, and especially the prime time slot there, that, anything between 7 and 10 Central Time, any weeknight.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I just thought of a really good idea for a video.
Oh, boy. Does it involve undressing or what?
Well, hockey season's back, so I should show how to sew a hockey jersey.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Yeah.
Because all those hockey jerseys that you see the professionals wear, those are hand sewn. Every single jersey is hand sewn to the specs of the player.
Now, wait a minute. When you say hand sewn, are you talking about by hand on a sewing machine, or are you talking about a needle and thread?
Both.
Okay. Because I know what the needle and thread and stuff. One place I used to work at was a garment manufacturer. I used to do IT for them, and I got to watch they were all ladies doing all the sewing. and I'll tell you, they could work a needle and thread like nobody else in the world could.
Oh yeah, it's trippy. I on the hockey channel, they recently showed somebody, and I went on their YouTube channel. I always say, anyone who says, "Oh, this is easy, you can do it too," they have at least 25 years experience.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. I'm like, "Oh, this is easy," but I've been doing this since I was a little boy. You know,
Yeah.
so I have a lifetime experience, you know.
I see that with the woodworking and the home renovation channels all the time. It's like,
Oh my.
yeah, no, you're not taking into account somebody who hasn't had, years using that tool.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
That's another thing. Like, even with this machine, I was ferociously looking for someone to show me how to properly thread it on YouTube. And that's why I'm going to do a tutorial on how to thread it, because I had to go to another machine that was kind of like it and figure it out on my own, you know?
That's the problem I'm
Okay.
having now with my serger. As I had it professionally cleaned and lubricated, and it's working great now, but it broke one of the threads, and I can't find anything on how to rethread it.
Oh, Josh, that's what I'm saying. Keep looking. Eventually you will. And that's the crummy thing. Like, yesterday, something that was going to take me a half an hour, I spent 3 hours researching this sewing machine last night.
Yeah, so yeah, I need to learn to use it. I've never really used a serger. And I've got a pile of projects lined up, but it's like I literally can't use this machine because I broke a thread.
Once you figure it out, you will you'll punch out like 15 shirts.
Okay, then, because that's something I'd like to do if I could just find the space to keep a sewing machine. I would like to make some of my own clothing because I like polo shirts. And they're actually getting hard for me to find. Walmart didn't have any at all this year.
The older, like I am Captain Sewing Machine. I go looking for older sewing machines, but I recently bought that Singer Genie for $25.
Oh wow!
You know, and it resells for like $200. I bought that white one for $24. The one on the left, that's brand newish, but the one on the right, I bought that at a thrift store for $24. Oiled it, cleaned it up. It looks brand new. It works so well. It worked. It was worth the $24. You know.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
You never know. Just with the little, I actually did a video about that. Just with the little bit of lube, you'd be surprised. You can get almost any sewing machine working again if it's metal.
Watch it, Will. Talking about lube.
No, that's why even in my opening line, I was like, and I'm going to talk about lube. And I paused and I was like, and I paused and I was like, I'm talking about sewing machines. Get your mind out of the gutter.
There you go. There you go. Oh, scheisse. I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
But
But
what I really need, I need a place as large as yours because of all the stuff I've got. Yeah.
That was the one thing. I was collecting all this crud, and in many ways, COVID did me a favor because I finally had a chance to bring it all out and put it in the same room. I finally had a chance to put my laboratory together. You know, I'm the mad sewing scientist. I finally had enough room to put it all together. And that's what encouraged me to make more, was because I'm face to face with all the stuff. Because I would go buy a sewing machine and it would sit in my hallway, or it would sit in the entry hall for, it would live there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was there.
You mentioned keeping things in places. I actually bought that book. So in the future, look forward to my review of a gender critical person's book.
Like, it's always good to read the other side, though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to know their attempts at arguments and how to refute them. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I could destroy a TERF in like 30 seconds, because a lot of their arguments are emotionally based and just as bigoted as they're claiming that they're not.
Yep.
They, you know, like you can't claim bigotry while you're being a bigot. You can't say, "Oh, these guys are racist," as you're wearing a swastika and a Confederate hat. You know, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You know.
Okay, well, we're supposed to be doing wrap-ups here. So, Will, what have you got?
I'm Godless Sewing from the Godless Sewing channel. Go subscribe to the Godless Sewing channel. I will be doing a video about my Bel Air sewing machine and why woo-woo is dangerous, because I'm still scared of my grandmother and she's been passed for 3 years. So this is her old machine, and I'm going to put a Fresh Prince of Bel Air sticker on the Bel Air machine, and it will be awesome. So that video will be out soon. But last time I said it'll be out at night. My computer crashed, so it'll be out when it comes out.
Oh man, when you mention Bel Air, every time you say it, I think of a Chevy.
Oh yeah. This thing is made like one. It's made like it just reminds me of like a Cadillac or something. But it's the age of when it was made, late 50s. You know.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I tell you, I wouldn't mind a Bel Air, but I don't know if I could find the leaded gasoline anymore.
Around here, we have our gas stations still have gas for the old timey cars.
Okay. Yeah, because Chevrolet quit making Bel Airs in 75.
Oh wow!
Excuse me, sorry.
Like and subscribe to everybody.
Yep.
8 o'clock West Coast time.
Okay. And yeah, I will be back next week. Well, actually, yeah, and was it 20 odd hours from now for the late night show, which will be at 10 p.m. Central Time instead of midnight from now on.
Okay, then. Everybody remember that. Write it in your books.
And then, of course, next week at the same time here. So, would like to sign off with, again, wishing a happy birthday to Greg Hartwick, who has been my longest and most loyal supporter.
Happy birthday to Moo. Happy birthday to Moo.
Who has been sending me a bit every month on Patreon for a couple of years now.
Yeah, he is one of my dear patrons, and you are just a big sweetie, Greg. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for everything.
And Greg Hartwick, please do not ever stop tagging me on Twitter. You are amazing, and I love the stories you find.
And I'd like to thank my other Patreon supporters. You know, Diana here is also one of them.
Yay!
And Robert X and Ox, who are usually in the chat, but I haven't seen them today.
Aww.
And Junie the Apostate, who did my avatar. Von Rick, has, along with Greg, has been with us for a long time. I know is also supporting Diana.
Yep, Von Rick's a big sweetie.
Yep. And my newest supporter is X of the Utah Outcast for the last few months.
Yay!
So appreciate all of you, helping us keep going here. And with that, I will wish you all a good day.
See you later.
Bye-bye all.
Take care, all.